Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Jason, and today I'm going to show you 3 low-calorie tiki drinks. It is that time of year where, many of us, for our New Year's resolution, is trying to get a little slimmer, lose a little weight, or in my case, a lot of weight. I've eaten a lot of burritos this year. Living in California, there's just so much good food, and I eat all of it. And I don't fit in most of my clothes. So this year I'm going to try and get in much better shape. But I still love tiki. I still love drinking with my friends. And so I figured it might be fun to make a list of like 3 cocktails that I adore that are sub 200 calories. When you're drinking, often the majority of the calories come from the alcoholics. The alcohol itself, you can't really get around that, right? So like, an ounce pour of like gin, bourbon, rum, whatever is gonna net you around 70 calories. That does fluctuate depending on, particularly rum, if they add a lot of sugar to it. So the lowest calories you can get by is just drinking straight booze. I know there's a lot of products on the market, particularly seltzers, that try and market themselves as diet drinks. And they're like, 90 calories. Well, most of those calories are just the alcohol, right? So you're getting like maybe an ounce and a half, ounce and a quarter of booze, and the rest is just really garbage, artificial flavors. But the 3 drinks we're making today are delicious, absolutely awesome, with real flavors that I think you would really enjoy. And I highly encourage you, if you're, while you're working out, and trying to lose a little weight, or maybe you're not, maybe you're just, you don't care, you just want to drink. These are great cocktails, whether you're trying to lose weight or not. To start, we're gonna make the Suffering Bastard. I love this cocktail. It's super simple. It's got ginger beer and a few other ingredients, and it's served in one of my favorite mugs. Generally with the Suffering Bastard, you use just regular ginger beer, but because I'm fat and I'm trying to lose weight, we're gonna use diet ginger beer, and I don't think it makes that much of a difference. Let's get started.
First up, we want 1/2 ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice, followed by a 1/4 ounce of homemade Demerara syrup. Now the booze. Whatever gin you have kicking around, the nuances of something expensive is going to be lost in this cocktail. We want 1 ounce of whatever gin you have. Same goes for the brandy. Expensive brandy is a waste on this cocktail. Just like the gin, we want 1 ounce. Followed by 2 heavy dashes of Angostura bitters. We're gonna toss in some ice and give it a very good shake. You're gonna shake until frost develops on the outside of the tin. Grab a Suffering Bastard mug or whatever vessel you want to dump your cocktail into. Then we're going to fill it up about halfway full of ice, followed by ginger beer. Generally, you'll use a standard ginger beer, but because this is a diet cocktail, we're using diet ginger beer. We're going to top it off with ice, grab some mint and spank it like it's been a naughty little bastard. Add a Swizzle stick, a straw, and enjoy.
That is the Suffering Bastard. One of my all-time favorite mugs. The Suffering Bastard mug is just so much fun to drink out of. There's been a whole lot of different iterations of it, but it's definitely my favorite just to enjoy any cocktail. I'll drink a Navy grog out of this thing. I don't care. Let's give it a taste. That's great. You can barely tell that we're using diet ginger beer. You get that strong ginger flavor and all the bubbliness, which is really fantastic. But then the gin comes in there and plays really nicely with the brandy. It's got a lot of flavor. It's super refreshing. I don't know if this is the ideal cocktail to drink in the middle of winter, such as it is right now when we're filming this. Perfect for, Cairo, Egypt, where it was invented. But this is super refreshing. I love drinking it, and it is certainly a solid cocktail to be drinking if you're on a diet. Up next, we're gonna make a Don the Beachcomber classic called the Planter's Punch. This is a really fun recipe. It's from 1937. It does require a lot of ingredients, but not as many as a lot of Don the Beachcomber's recipes. He's kind of notorious for having just an obscene amount of stuff in his cocktails, but it's definitely worth making, especially if you're looking for low-calorie cocktails. Let's get started on that one.
First up, 1/2 ounce fresh squeezed lime juice. Then a 1/2 ounce of simple syrup or Demerara syrup. Now the booze. We want a 1/2 ounce of a Gold Jamaican Rum, followed by a 1/2 ounce of a good Dark Jamaican Rum. We're going to use Caruba because that's my personal favorite. I think it goes great in tiki cocktails. Then a full ounce of a Cuban, Puerto Rican, or Virgin Islands style rum. Then Grenadine. We want about a 1/2 teaspoon. Make it yourself. It's 1 part pomegranate juice, 1 part sugar. We're going to do 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Add some ice and give it a vigorous shake. This cocktail is served in a highball glass, but if you are a true tiki douchebag, grab a glass from an extinct tiki bar, dump your cocktail in there, top with crushed ice, and you're going to garnish with a couple palm fronds, a swizzle stick, straw, and serve.
And that's the Planter's Punch, a very classic Don the Beachcomber cocktail. It's like 80 years old, but it's still crazy popular. You'll see this cocktail, the Planter's Punch, or variations of this recipe in tiki bars all over the place. And for good reason. It's super delicious, and it's super just classic tiki, which I love. Let's give it a taste. Yeah, it is very rum forward. It's not that indifferent from a Navy grog. It's actually more, if you like a Navy grog, you'll really dig this. Whoops, messing up my bar. It's a Navy grog with a little more character. So it's the rum plus floral notes and that kind of bitter sweetness from the grenadine, fruity, bright from the lemons. It is so good. And it's hard to believe that this is, I guess, technically a diet cocktail. And if you are trying to get cut or lose a little weight and you still want to drink tiki, this is a really great place to start. It's, you know what, whenever I make one of these, I never regret it, and I finish it way too fast. But next up, we're making the Queen's Park Swizzle, another sub 200 calorie cocktails. It's different, it's minty, it's rummy. It is one of my all-time favorite cocktails, not just because of the way it tastes, but it's also really pretty looking. It's got all these different layers of color. I think you're gonna like it. Let's make it.
First up, you need some mint. Most recipes call for 4 to 6 mint leaves, but because I love mint, we're gonna use a fistful. You're gonna use a bar spoon to press that mint up against the size of the glass. You don't wanna crush the mint, you just wanna awaken the flavors. Next, a 1/2 ounce of Demerara syrup, followed by 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. Now the booze. You want 3 ounces of a good Demerara rum. We're gonna use Hamilton because honestly, it's my favorite. Add some crushed ice, and because it's a swizzle, we're just going to work that bar spoon back and forth to essentially mix all those ingredients together, kind of like a human Hamilton beach mixer. You're gonna add some more ice, then take a fistful of mint and spank it, stuff it in there, add your swizzle stick, a straw, and then the crudita. We're gonna top the whole thing off with a bunch of Angostura bitters. That's gonna add a little bit of flavor, some aroma, and it just looks really fucking cool.
And that is the Queen's Park Swizzle, one of my favorite cocktails. Not just because it looks really cool, which it does with the 3 layers of color, but because it is somehow, look, it's basically like a mojito, right? It's rum, it's lime, sugar, and mint. That's a mojito. With the addition of the bitters, it elevates it and takes it to a different level. But really, the technique and what you do to make this cocktail just takes it to a completely different place. Of all the cocktails you can make out there that are super simple with only a few ingredients, I think this is the most interesting. I'm gonna do some tasting notes here in a second, but it's kind of ridiculous because I make this all the time. I love it, and it's sub 200 calories. So if you're trying to lose weight, also a really good option. Let's taste it. Look, you got all that mint there. Bring it up. It's a face full of mint, and it's followed by rich, brown sugar, and then rum. This is a really, it's like, this is the, not so much the flavor, but the experience of eating like fudge. You know, you take a bite of like a little piece of fudge and there's so much chocolate flavor. It's so rich and just fills your mouth with flavor, but you can't take a lot at a time. That is this cocktail, which is great if you're trying to lose weight and you don't want to be throwing back a lot of drinks. You want to enjoy something slowly. This is that cocktail. Yeah, and you get that richness, the brown sugar, but it's followed by the mint. Obviously, because I threw it a fuck ton of mint in there, that it's super mint forward. And one might say, oh, dude, you threw, a freaking handful of mint in there. It doesn't taste too much. Like Smuggler's Cove and a lot of those other recipes say, you put 4 mint leaves in there, and I don't think that would be sufficient. Like a fistful, that's what does it for me. Because it has to compete with the Demerara syrup, and more importantly, the Demerara rum or the black blended rum or whatever rum you're using, you need to use a bright, like thick, rich rum that has to compete with all that mint. This is so freaking good. It is one of my all-time favorite cocktails. I love this so much that I'm gonna, drink a little more right now. And if you haven't noticed, we've made 3 cocktails tonight, which I have consumed. And I'm starting to feel a little loose. Yeah, I mean, they're doing their job. I'm not meeting my calorie count for today. Went a bit over that for the new year. But I've drank enough not to care. I don't know if that's a good thing. But if you like this channel, please hit the like button down below or subscribe. We're trying to put out videos every week. Disney, Tiki content, all sorts of fun stuff. And I think I've drank too much, really, honestly, to properly close this thing. So I hope you're having a great new year. Genuinely, I think 2025 is going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year for me. It's going to be a great year for the channel. We're going to do a lot of really interesting things. And I really hope you had a great holiday season, a great new year, and you're in a really great place. Till next week, cheers.